It's Kiss, King of the Nighttime World on Vintage Sound 93.1 FM, 8 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're live in the Unity Point Health Studios on Wednesday, otherwise known as Hump Day. I have my obnoxious Hump Day shirt on that I got in Conesville. Miss Iowa's probably jealous.
I am. It's really.
Are you really? Hold on, let me turn your microphone on.
Oh,
Miss Iowa, Nicole Kelly, hi.
Hello. I am jealous of your shirt. It's really cool.
Well, I didn't want to brag, but it was homemade. I mean, they pressed it for me.
Where did you get this, or you created it yourself?
Well, I was in Conesville for this thing called the Redneck Revival.
Oh.
And one of the vendors was making shirts, and they were like, we'll give you a shirt. And I said, okay. And I didn't know what to get. So they had all these designs, and I felt like this was the most obnoxious.
It's really nice. It has a camel on it, and it says hump, but day is day.
That's right.
3 A's.
Yes.
So it's pretty awesome.
I'm glad that you're here. It's good to see you. I guess we had technically met at Miss Muscatine, but that was kind of a crazy night. So this is way more laid back.
Yeah. It's good to be here. Thank you for letting me come in and chat with you today.
You're welcome. And you're originally from Keokuk.
I am.
Did I say that right?
Nope, you said it wrong, but that's okay. No,
Keokuk?
you can say it right. Keokuk.
Keokuk.
But my dad, who literally has lived there his entire life, says Kilcook. There's no L in the spelling of Keokuk. However, he insists that that's the correct way to say it.
So what is it again?
Keokuk.
Keokuk. So I was saying Keokuk, which is way wrong.
That's closer than Kilcook.
That's true. I didn't say the L. So let's talk about your journey to Miss Iowa. Obviously, I'm sure the answer is you can't believe it's been a year already, which is wild to think, right?
It is.
But if we back up before you became Miss Iowa, tell us a little bit about yourself up until that point.
Sure, yeah. I have a little bit of a different story than you'll hear. I had no idea what this Miss America world was at all.
Sure.
So you have to compete at a local in order to compete at Miss Iowa. So it's just kind of like a qualifying round.
Right.
And I had a friend reach out to me in January asking me if I wanted to compete in a qualifying round. I, at the time, was at an internship in Chicago.
Nice.
I happened to have 2 weeks in between that internship and then moving back to New York. I had a job in New York waiting for me. And of course, that's when this pageant landed. So I ended up going, and I ended up winning one of the crowns there, which got me my ticket to Miss Iowa. I completely fell in love with the world, realized that this was a job that I wanted, and was able to get really serious about it. So I had from then February to last June to prep and get ready. But I was living in New York that whole time.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Wait, so unlike most contestants, you had never done pageants ever?
I had never, ever done a pageant. No.
Wow.
But my background and my training is theater.
Sure.
And so much of how I've lived my life, I feel like has been training just in a different way, not specifically doing pageants. So I still walked on that stage, full of confidence because stages in general feel like home to me.
Yeah, so you don't get nervous at all. Whereas I'm sure, last year when you're getting ready for Miss Iowa and you have the preliminaries and then the actual event, I'm sure there were a lot of nerves, and you were just like, whatever.
There were a lot of nerves, and it is really strange to walk on stage in a swimsuit and 5-inch heels. That's not normal.
Right.
So, I've only ever done that really 3 times in my entire life.
Wow.
So that would have been the second time I did it there at Miss Iowa. But, you strut with confidence. That's what you got to do.
5-inch heels, really?
That's pretty standard. Yeah.
I first of all, I guess I wore heels once for a charity event. It was called Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. So it was for a good cause. I don't know how women, how you do that, because it was, I
found that I have 2 pairs that I can wear for a long period of time.
Okay.
And so that's pretty much the 2 pairs I wore all year as Miss Iowa. So,
that's cool.
But they'll be retired now in 10 days.
Yeah, so you literally have a countdown on your phone, and you're 10 days away from crowning, and that's your job. You'll be there. Is that the crown? Do you keep that crown, or is that the crown that continues on?
I get to keep the crown, and I get
nice.
to keep the sash. I
Perfect.
have a sparkly sash that has my year, and it says Miss America and Miss Iowa on it as well. And so I get to keep those for myself. I'm not allowed to wear them after the date. So I don't know if I'll get a glass case or if it'll go away. I'm not sure where it will end up, but it truly has been, the crown, as silly as it feels maybe to wear at the age of now 24, it still is such a sign of it commands respect. People,
Yeah, for sure.
you get their attention when you have a crown on your head, and they're at least willing to hear what you have to say. So it's a matter of what you
Absolutely.
use when once you get their attention. So
And you have the crown, and does it come with the carrying case, or did you pick it out? Because it looks like a nice case.
they gave me a case.
They gave you, okay.
Yes, indeed.
And they said you have to, when you're not wearing it, it goes in there.
Well, it makes sense because
Yeah.
I have to carry it with me every day, everywhere I go.
Right.
So the carrying case kind of just becomes essentially has been my purse this year. Things go into
That's
it.
so
That's
awesome.
more than just the crown and sash. Chocolates.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like a granola bar.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. I got a piece of candy on the crown.
Yes, sometimes.
So you win Miss Iowa, and then all of a sudden you're thrust into the spotlight, and your year, just any plans you had, you got to just sort of scrap everything.
Correct.
And then, so how was your year? I mean, I saw you on Paula Sands a few times, and I know you go to a ton of events. Just you're busier than, I think I get busy in this job. But I mean, talk about some of the stuff you got to do.
Yeah, the job of Miss Iowa is completely a full-time job, and it's all-consuming all the time. So yeah, I think the word that I come back to constantly is whirlwind. I just don't have time or the energy to plan or know what I'm doing more than a week at a time.
Sure.
Just because there's so much that's happening. It's very normal for me to spend 4, 5, 6 hours in a car in a day.
Wow.
Just traveling to get to whether it be Des Moines or go home to Keokuk or wherever it is. It's constant, and it's been nothing but wonderful because even though I'm driving those 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, once I get to said event, that's 3, 4, 5, 600
Right.
people that then I get to share my message with, or I get to invest it in. So it's definitely been crazy. It's definitely time to never be in a car again. I'm there. I'm ready for that. But it's been great. It's
Good.
the coolest job you could ever have. It's really great.
So Miss Iowa, June 14th is when we'll find out who Miss Iowa for 2014 is. 7 p.m. Adler Theater in Davenport. The 12th and the 13th are 2 nights of preliminary events. The week of Miss Iowa is crazy busy for these girls.
It is.
Having gone through it, you can sort of, identify with them how busy they are. They come into town Sunday. You said everybody gets together, right?
Yeah, so the 8th, all of the girls will come in, and altogether there's 15 girls competing for the title. And so for a week of time, they do things as if they were Miss Iowa, which
Right.
is great. It's good practice for what you get once you get the job, truly. So it's lots of activities we go to, lots of sponsored events. We're doing just lots of, I don't know what all is on the slate for this
Sure.
year, to be honest, because that's next week. Remember, I'm on
Right.
this week still.
Right. Right. You want to take it one day at a time.
One day at a time. But yeah, it's just a great amount of things and great prep and practice for them. And
Sure.
also just a week to really, truly get to know each other, because I know it sounds cheesy or lame, but it truly is about those friendships that you make and the people that you're with. It's that
Absolutely.
investment. So to have the week with those girls really is huge and really cool.
No, it's good. I worked at a radio station in the Quad Cities for a long time, and we had usually every year we had all the contestants coming on our show, and I mean it was interesting to see. There's like a driver, and there's an itinerary, and you have to be here at this time, and it was always very well organized.
Oh yeah, it is a huge production, and it takes so many people to make Miss Iowa Week go. We're very
Sure.
very lucky to have amazing volunteers and amazing sponsors that come in and help. There's always room for more if you're
Right.
interested. However, yes, it is a village of people in Davenport that week, which is great.
Good. So June 14th, we'll find out. So let's talk about your platform for a little bit.
Sure.
I'm looking at your website. I've kind of known what your platform is, overcoming disabilities. Tell everybody about that.
Sure. So I was born with one hand. So yet again, that addition of never having done a pageant, but feeling like I had prepped for it my whole life.
Sure.
I literally have lived with my platform since the moment I was born. So because I was born with one hand, the mission this year has just been to go into the schools, to go into the communities, and to start talking about that idea of different. And, you know, at the elementary school level, it's that very basic idea of everybody has something that's different.
Right.
I bring with me, I have a stuffed animal, Finding Nemo.
Okay.
And we talk about the fact that Nemo has a lucky fin.
Right.
And Nikki has a lucky fin. And it's great because that clicks for them. It's an easy analogy to share with them, then going all the way up through adults where that message gets much more complex and is much more about empowerment to them and what are you doing and how are you making changes. But that's what my whole year has been, is just that constant conversation and that constant encouraging of questions is also a huge thing for me as well. Because I feel like those questions of those differences are what break those ideas and those boundaries. So,
well, especially if you're confident in yourself, which you are, and you don't have a problem speaking. So for people to, because I'm sure that when you talk to kids, you know, they have their ideas and they're gonna just be blunt with, like, you know, their questions. But then when you get to like adults, they're probably just like, I don't know, should I ask? Like, it's kind of awkward. Like, we overanalyze it, and you're like, whatever you want to know, it's cool. Like, let me know.
Hugely so, and that's what's been so cool about going into the elementary schools, because they are so candid.
Right.
And the fact that a huge part of the message is it's okay to ask those questions.
Yeah.
Start asking those questions. Does somebody have something different than you? Don't be mean to them. Don't ignore them. Start asking those questions. So to get that idea that that's okay early on, I feel like has been really important. But it's true, and there are many, many, many social graces to talking about having a difference, because as you said, adults will treat it differently, and they will, you know, choose to be polite rather than to ask questions, which is fine because I've dealt with that my whole life, so I know how to talk about it and to deal with it.
Yeah, like it hasn't obviously slowed you down at all, and it's just part of your life. And I think that's that's something to be said, because if you ever take the time and talk to somebody that has a disability or whatever, odds are they don't treat it as such. It's just like, yep, it is what it is. I mean, you know, what are you going to do? You can't dwell on it your whole life.
Correct.
You just get stuck in a rut then.
One of my very favorite appearances that I did this year was I rode... it was the hardest day, maybe.
Sure.
It's a good hard. I rode a day of RAGBRAI. Absolutely.
Wow.
I don't know why I did it. Yes, I do know why I did it. I rode with the Adaptive Sports Iowa team, this amazing, amazing team of people from Des Moines. And they literally most all of them were wheelchair bound. So they literally were hand cyclists.
Oh, my gosh.
And they hand cycled 50-mile. I rode a 50-mile day with them. And just to be with those people was so encouraging. And so it just like what you're saying, for them it's their everyday life. For me it's my everyday life. But it was extra cool to be with them and to see that and to do that with them.
Now I feel bad because I haven't done RAGBRAI, and you're like, I did 50 miles in a day, and I'm just like,
I only did one day. That was a good accomplishment. All right.
I know, but that's impressive. If you're just joining us, that's Miss Iowa Nicole Kelly, Miss Iowa in studio. June 14th, we'll find out who Miss Iowa 2014 is. Just 10 days away.
10 days, 12 hours, and what did I say? 33 minutes.
Not that you're thinking about it. So obviously the day is going to come on the 14th, and here's the new Miss Iowa, and then you said off the air you're going to be 24 and jobless, but it seems like you'll have a lot of prospects. What would you like to do for a career?
Yeah, that's ever changing, and this year has definitely been something that's changed.
Sure.
I was doing theater, but I was doing backstage theater work before I became Miss Iowa, and this year has very much been all about being in front. So I'm choosing to more or less take the summer off, which I think is very okay.
Yep.
I'm going to a few amputee camps, so I'm going to go. I'll get to fly to California and whatnot, and
nice.
I'm going to spend the last part of the summer in Cambridge with a boy that I'm going to nanny. It's confusing. It's a long story. But
cool.
But point being is I more or less am very much taking a step back and really just letting myself readjust more or less to not being in front.
Right.
And then we're going to reassess. Recently, I really have been interested in like news anchor stuff. I know I like to be in front, but I know I like to be in front as myself, and I feel like that might be a good outlet. However, that's not my background in training. I think Miss Iowa has been a great master class, but it's not fully there. So we'll see. The fall, I don't know what will end up happening in the fall, but it's sure to be exciting.
That's awesome. I could see you doing the news stuff. I mean, when I went to St. Ambrose, I was terrible at TV. I was like great at radio.
Yeah.
I can't read a teleprompter. Have you had to do that yet? It's impossible.
You don't like doing it?
No, I can't do it.
I do like it.
I look like I'm reading. Like I can't, and I'm friends with a lot of news people. I don't know how they do it.
I would like to try anyway, so I don't know.
Well, we could probably get you to at least a test, a trial. I just, the words just start going, and it's just like, I'm just better free form, you know?
That's fair.
Well, listen, I'm excited for you. I know that because I've talked to, Miss Iowas in the past, and it's crazy to think that the year goes by that fast. But you've done so much. And like you said, taking the summer off, totally deserve it. I mean, you'll probably find yourself just like, whew, a little bit relieved, excited for whoever wins next weekend.
Definitely.
And at the same time, just kind of like, okay, I can breathe. I don't have to carry the crown with me everywhere I go. This is cool.
I'm going to get to retire the crown box. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, Miss Iowa, Nicole Kelly has 10 days left, and then we'll find out who wins Miss Iowa 2014, June 14th, 7 p.m., Adler Theater in Davenport. It is a very entertaining evening, and I hope that, and I'm sure you will, when you get together on Sunday with the 15 contestants, you just try and put them at ease. I'm sure it'll be impossible, but as easy as it is for you to be comfortable on stage and doing interviews like this, and all the contestants that I've met over the years, they all were great on radio, and I could see a little bit of the nerves, but it seems like over the year you've done so much of it. You're like, whatever, it's cool.
I like it.
That's good.
I really enjoy it a lot.
Good.
This is part of the job that I definitely enjoy. So it'll be something I'll miss once I walk away from the crown.
That's cool. Well, it's interesting because I have a friend who has an Emmy award.
Awesome.
And I'm like, where's the Emmy? And he's like, nowhere special. So like, people are going to ask you like, where do you put the crown? Because I think would be totally cool to have in like a clear case. Boom, there's the crown right there.
Somewhere on display.
Right.
I don't know where it'll end up. First, I have to figure out where I'm going to live, and then maybe I can figure out where it's going to be displayed.
One step at a time. That's a great idea. Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm glad that you're here, and I hope for your sake that the next 10 days go slow. Do you have anything this weekend going on, or is it just all getting ready for next week?
You are my second to last event alone as Miss Iowa. So I'll be speaking out of corporation on Thursday. It's
nice.
Tomorrow already?
Yes.
Tomorrow, yep. And then Sunday it'll all start. So of course there's 1.5 million things that have to be done before that Sunday comes. But it's all good, fun things. And I'm excited to be around people, to have the joy of being with all the people who love Miss Iowa. So it'll be a good week, and I'm really excited.
Yeah, I mean, it'll sort of be like maybe you haven't seen some faces since last year.
That's right.
And just a big, that's great.
And there's a great group of girls, so I'm really excited for whoever it is that takes over. It's going to be somebody good. So.
Maybe you give Miss Muscatine a little nudge. Maybe give her a little. You can't do that, but I don't know. Maybe
I have no swaying power.
I know.
I do not.
I know.
Unfortunately.
Well, I had to try. If I didn't try, they wouldn't let me host it again.
That's right. That's
part of my deal. Yeah. See if you can bribe Miss Iowa. I'm like, okay, fine, I will if you want me to. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, listen. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Good luck speaking tomorrow. And then have a fun week next week. It's going to be wild.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And maybe I'll get you your very own Hump Day shirt if you want.
I would love that.
See, Miss Iowa's cool. She can wear a Hump Day shirt, right?
Hump Day.
With the crown on, maybe? I don't know if they would approve of that.
You can get it to me the next 10 days.
With news on your Wednesday, this is Brad Gibson in the Vintage Sound Newsroom. Candidates are set